Well, welcome to Scotty's bedroom, everybody, because that's just what we do. No
That's how I
walls,
roll. Hey, well,
no
hold on now.
nothing.
I can change it now.
What is that? Why is that your room? Now we're in a different room. So, anyway,
Yeah, I don't know
here we
what this is.
are. So, we're
I gotta
watching a
just
little
say
bit.
this: we're watching the Edmonton Dallas game, right? Good job, Dallas, come back and tying this thing up. And oh, oh, hey, I got a problem with the NHL.
What's that?
So Duchesne gets hit in the mouth by McDavid, like right off the face-off, chasing the puck. No one sees the play goes on. Bang, 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 shot on goal. If they'd have made the shot and it had scored, I wonder what would have happened. But because it didn't score, they stop it. They're waiting for a face-off. Guess what? Oh, now let's go back and review a penalty from 20 seconds ago to see if that was a high stick, and now McDavid's in the penalty box.
Well, it's no different than the offsides calls. I mean, I've said before in the NHL, I really believe they need to figure out a way to figure out the offside stuff better. Whether that's put something on the puck, I don't know. There's nothing you can put on the puck. I just feel like what I hate about offsides is not only like you can get a goal taken away after you think you've had one, and it can totally kill momentum. Like to
Yeah,
me, if you think something's offsides, I think it somehow should be challenged in like the first, I don't know, 5 seconds of the entry or 10 seconds of the entry or something like that. You shouldn't go through a whole possession with the other team and wait to see if you have a goal than to challenge it, in my opinion. Now, some would probably say they'd rather keep the pace of play going, blah, blah, blah. But I just think when you challenge an offside call, um, and you take a goal away, it
yeah.
is a double whammy.
I agree with that, but like I said, so the playoff, the face off goes. You saw it, play, get a shot on goal. Onman holds the puck. Okay, good. And now Duchesne skates off. He gets bumped his lip, whatever. Now you're able to go back and review that. And what would have happened if that goal had gone in? Would they have gone back and reviewed the penalty? I mean, it ain't
Yeah.
offsides.
Yeah, they probably would have. Look, you and I won't be popular with hockey guy, but when are we? Um, to me, the high sticking thing drives me nuts. Half of them are inadvertent. To me, the penalty was more put in so you couldn't just high stick a guy in the face. When
Right.
you're trying to go for a check, it ricochets off equipment and it catches you in the face. When so many of these guys choose to not wear enough face protection, in my opinion, well, then that's on you, brother. That's just part of the thing, you know?
Well, I
Now,
didn't
if a
think
guy
McDavid
whacks
was.
you in the face or cross checks you in the face or some junk like that, then fine, let's have a penalty.
Well,
But
it felt like to me, McDavid. I mean, they were just fighting for the thing to stick out high. I know why you do it, and it's for safety. I get that, but now you give him a double minor, so you give him 5 minutes of in an overtime.
yep.
You give him 5 minute penalty.
Well, it's
I
four,
mean,
but yes, you're nonetheless your
that's
point is taken.
that's that's long time,
I
man.
know. I know. It challenges
Oh,
all
that's right.
your
It's a double minor. What? Like already in the penalty, Dallas already hit the post twice, right? So
right.
they should have ended it already. And it feels like you played like 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, and there's still 2 minutes and 11 seconds on the penalty. I just think that's pretty punitive. I can see why you want to keep the penalty, but if you still thought it was inadvertent, okay, inadvertent 2 minute minor.
Dude, but here's my thing. In a time when we're trying to get more athlete safety, why aren't these guys wearing more of a face shield? I'm sorry. Okay.
Well,
There's been
did,
a
did you hear?
lot of toxic masculine things that have disappeared. So why do we have dudes out there with nothing covering their faces, especially in a sport where you're supposed to, by the unwritten rules, go down and block it with your face if need be this time of year?
Well, and on the conversely, well, you're not supposed to be aiming for people's heads because of safety. So why do you need a helmet as much as you used to anyway? It was funny during the intermission. Gretzky was talking about how his helmet, and he might have been one of those guys that was grandfathered in, right? Because the rule really changed helmet wise in the late 80s or mid 90s. And he said, yeah, my helmet didn't have anything, was nothing.
Well, the guys, but it's like everything in sports. The athletes they're bigger, faster, stronger now. You know, you didn't have a lot of 6'2" to 6'4" guys playing this sport either. And now you do. So,
Yeah.
and I don't want,
except if you're an Avalanche player.
well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need it. We'll get into that. But I mean, again, I like visors. I like, you know what I like? I like my guys being able to play because things like a, moving 100-mile-an-hour piece of vulcanized rubber doesn't take them out by hitting them in the face. So,
right.
Again,
Well,
I know this is not a popular opinion.
College wears the full cage.
Yeah, they still do. I mean,
why don't you go full cage?
I'd have no problem with it. I'm sure they'd tell you somehow it would impair their vision, but I'm sure you could come up with some kind of shield, glass, the plexiglass shield or whatever it is that they wear when they have broken jaws that would be able to help you out. I don't know if it's breathing. I don't know what it is, man, but we've got all sorts of technology out there. And I think if you had a company knew that you had to wear this, we had to come up with something that gave you the full field of vision and all that, they would figure it out. Remember during the COVID era where they were going to they're going to put those face shields on that allowed them to still breathe, but still was supposed to be real strong? It's fine. We're yelling at the clouds because they're not going to do anything about this. But again, like you said, we may have game one of the Western Conference Finals decided by a penalty because Duchesne took a stick by accident. So it is what it is. This is what annoyed me about the Dallas series with us. I just felt like a bunch of their goals, just came at very fortunate times for them. I don't know.
Your boy Jamie Benn doesn't even wear the plexiglass shield in front of his face.
All the more reason to throw a punch. So. But anyway, yeah, Dallas, we'll see. They're now working it around.
Well, think of this. That's what we always talk. We talk with you with lacrosse and everything. Think of all the stuff people wear for lacrosse they didn't used to wear.
Oh, Scotty, we didn't wear thick shoulder pads when I was playing, but we still wore stuff. We still wore under padding for the football, but it was enough to prevent your collarbone from getting broken. And I had thicker pads that covered most of my arm because I did not, I still would go home with bruises and you wouldn't be able to grip something right if you got caught in the right place. Now, see, this is where it may work. I was going to say, now McDavid's out. He could have been on the breakaway. Dallas got lucky there. But yeah, trust me, some of these guys just wear padding on their elbows. It's nutty, but
By the way, now you are 21 seconds ahead of me.
I don't think so. I'm at 15:19 on the clock.
Because McDavid's still, he's out now.
Well, then you know what you did? You did something with your DVR. Would be my guess.
I think I paused it. What I did.
So.
Well, listen, they got rid of a double minor, and then they were able to. And listen, you want to listen. Regular season, postseason, when you get through a penalty, right? When you could kill a penalty, that's huge. When you're in the playoffs,
yeah,
and it's overtime, and you kill a double minor, come on, man, that's pretty freaking big.
I'm telling you, we saw it in Denver. The Stars' power play has not been good. Not been good at all. I'm not sure either one of these teams are built for Florida, but we'll see. When you got McDavid, you got anything that you need. Boy, a lot of the Edmonton guys are yelling at each other tonight. That's kind of interesting. So we might as well jump into some chatter while we wait to see what this overtime is going to do. Our friend Marie there's the question. What do you think about Landy? Wait or hate it? It's the $7 million question, is it not, Scotty? I'll just go ahead and say what I said on the show already today. I think you've got to. I'm sorry. I know everybody wants Gabe back. I'd love to see Gabe Landeskog back too. I'd love to see him, but if Gabe Landeskog comes back and is a fourth line guy and then doesn't make it through a month because of this experimental surgery and new skating style and all this other stuff, and you didn't go get anybody in the summer, like, again, when you put him on IR during the year, well, that ain't helping you. So to me, he's going on long-term IR, and the goal is for you to play in the playoffs. I am using your money this summer to get me someone else that I know I can count on because he's still healthy. And I realize he's your captain. I realize the place he holds in our hearts. I want his banner. I want his jersey in the rafters. Again, I don't hate Gabe, but what I do hate is this thought. I feel like again, you need to spend that money to take advantage of McKinnon and McCarr while you've got him. Just like we could talk about what the Nuggets need to do with Joker and all that.
Well, first of all, let me just say this, and I think we've talked about this before, and I didn't realize this till I actually got to call that Nuggets game or that Avalanche game with Connor in Boston. Um, the NHL salary cap is stupid.
It really is.
It's not okay. Here's your salary. Here's what it is. Beginning of the year, you're good. It changes game by game. Depends on who you. It's the weirdest. Oh, another great block. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. That's one. You've got what between those two guys. I'm talking about Nichushkin in there also, and Nichushkin. I don't know if you listen today. I'm not sure they're all very happy with him, but I don't think they can do anything, and I think he'll be back. That being said, he's not going to be back for a while, and that's a lot of money too, right? And both of them got a lot of years left, don't they?
Oh yeah. I want to say, basically, I think they both have 6 left because they were both signed right after the Cup, weren't they? It might be 5 for Gabe and 6 for Val, but either way.
And a lot of money, and there's no tax. I don't believe there's relief on payroll.
No.
Say it gets to the point where Landy says he can't play, and
right.
so now it's just hope. And by the way, Landy's thing today, he let you know it was never close that he was coming back this year.
No, he said he didn't want it because he said it. He said what you and I have been saying.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Yeah, I can go and skate in the rink. He's a power forward in the NHL. Again, he would have been one of the guys trying to mess with Chris Tanev of the Stars, trying to keep him off McKinnon had he been able to play. And and look, I said this to Nate. Scotty, you tell me what you think of this. So he said today during his own press conference, I've had to learn how to skate a different way. That sounds to me like when Brock Osweiler or Tim Tebow or whatever quarterback du jour told us they were going to get a new throwing motion to make him more accurate or whatever. And what happened? And Tebow was the king of it because he was the guy we saw go through about 4 personal coaches. Tebow went through every coach there was known to man, still could not change the way that he threw when it came to game time, and shit was breaking down around him. You know why? It's muscle memory. It's what you've been doing to get you to that point. So I'm sure, Gabe, I'm sure can skate one way when he's in the rink and no one's trying to, like I said it to Nate today, when Jamie Benn's on the breakaway, like right there, and you got to break up a breakaway. Are you going to skate this new way that you got to skate, or are you going to go back to what you've been doing for your whole life?
I'm going to get back to what's comfortable.
And then are you going to get hurt when you do that?
Yeah. Listen, I went down the rabbit hole when he had his surgery, and Lonzo Ball had the same doctor, week in front of all this different stuff, but the same surgery that Gabe did. So I went down kind of a rabbit hole what it is, and they're having more and more success with it. But here's what people don't realize: there's success for Andy and Scott to sit around and take my dog out for a walk and maybe mow the yard and stuff like that, shoot baskets with my daughter. And then there's success. You're going to be on the rink. You're going to be on the basketball court. And it's what athletes put their bodies through, and their joints in particular. And we're talking about one of the most important joints in an NHL or NBA player, their knee. It ain't what humans normally do. It ain't the same thing. So I said a long time ago, and you got to be cautious because as fans get mad at you, but I'll be happy as a pig in slop if he ever comes back and is able to play. But I don't think that day is ever going to happen.
No, I'm with you. And you know what, Scotty, I could see him getting back on the ice. I could see him, I guess, playing a game. Yeah. But to me, you're going to be a 4th liner to start. I don't, I'm sure the skill's still there, but it's been 2 years, might almost be 3 by the time he actually hits the ice again. And like I said, you know what? Like, again, I can remember getting upset with the Broncos a couple years ago because they kept promising us, so and so would be. I don't even remember what group it was, but they needed some offensive linemen, and they just thought their guys would hold up. You know what happened? A couple guys got hurt in the offensive line, and they're trying to play backups. It might have been the Peyton Manning year where they had to go. Chris Clark in 2013 had to move over.
He got Tyler a ring.
No, that was 2015. But yeah, you're right. That's another good example. I'm just saying, but by the time we're in season, I mean, we dealt with this with the Broncos this year. By the time we're in season, I can't go find somebody. There's not a good selection of people to go and solve my problems now. You got to do that in the offseason. For the Avs, it's coming up here in July when there's actual free agents. Chris McFarland says today, basically, there's no way we're going to be able to afford Jonathan Drouin with the way he played this year. All right, well, could you afford him if you could give him some of Gabe's money? Like for me,
you'd be able to, or him or the Chuskin, right? I mean, but yeah, it is what it is, and you're stuck with it. I mean, and that's the tough thing, and that's the realistic thing. I think that a lot of fans don't want to kind of discuss or understand that. Listen, it's going to be tough.
So Greg's asking, have we heard any updates on Lonzo Ball? Someone told me, and it might even been you, Scotty, that he just started dunking a basketball, and that was, from what I understood, it was just like run up and light dunking, not we're all running down the floor at full force, and I'm going to tomahawk this thing.
And I don't know, Greg, and I'll have to go back and look at the timeline. I thought it was closer to when Nate even had his. It might have been a month or three earlier, but listen, he also went through 3 or 4 knee surgeries before they finally had to do it with this. I mean, this for Lonzo Ball, as I understand, I mean, this is like well, it probably is for Nate too. This is last
Gabe.
chance.
You mean Gabe?
Or Gabe? I mean, this is your last chance. This is the last chance that if this could possibly work, and you guys could be, stars of this surgery. Here you go.
Well,
I'd not heard. I'll try and look that up. I know his president of basketball operations there pretty well. I don't know if I threw him a text and, hey, how's Lonzo doing? Would he tell me the truth or not?
Well, at the end of the day, look, it's so interesting how the Nuggets and Avs are so similar, right, Scotty? They both need to make some moves, I think, to, as you and I talked about, maybe reshape the cast around the core for another real hard championship run. And yet the money's restricting both of them. Now, Val is his own situation and Gabe is a nasty injury. The Nuggets, you're locked into. That's what I think sucks. Like, you know what? With the NBA, and the NHL did this, with the NBA, if you were going to change the cap rules, then there should have been like a grace period where you could have reworked contracts or done something, because the Nuggets signed the big 3 max deals before these restrictive rules were in place,
right?
And now all of a sudden you're going to put in new rules and they don't get any chance to redo their formula before you do this. That was bull crap.
And this is two things. The Nuggets aren't the only team that's having to deal with this, but it's also why I believe the person that was in charge of the Players Association basically was run out right soon after this deal was made. So there you go too. Hey,
Yeah.
let me do you a favor. Let me screw the players up real fast, and I'll set this deal for you. And there we go. Okay.
Yeah. Peace out. Right. I don't know, man. It was an interesting day in Denver today to just hear from everybody. And to your point, I echo it. The Val thing's hard because we're all rooting for Val the person to get right. But you know what, man? Again, there are also, and Gabe said this, and McFarland basically said, I can't tell you he'd be a member of the Avalanche if we could get out of this contract. So it is what it is. And I had told you the night after the Avs were eliminated, I had told you that I had said, or I guess after the Nuggets were eliminated, I had said the only reason why I believe that this is still a thing is because they know they're going to have to welcome him back to the team at some point. So,
yeah,
because you're not just going to let $7 million of cap dollars go to nothing.
The bad thing is, and maybe Avs fans understand this, but the bad thing is Go look at the winning percentage when Val's on the ice since he's been here and when he's not on the ice.
It's 800 when he's on the ice and 500 when he isn't. That's a hell of a swing.
Right?
So
That's a little bit like when Joker's playing and then when he has to sit down.
because again, this is a team that doesn't have enough physical players. You and I have talked about it before. You and I were talking. I'm still, I'm not surprised Dallas did what they did to the Avs because that's what they always seem to do. Edmonton got bigger at the deadline. Florida's a big team. The Rangers are not a small team. They need more. And the problem is their two most physical players are the two guys we're talking about. Gabe being hurt and Val being, dealing with his stuff. So it is, I don't know, Scotty. It just stinks. What do you think after hearing the presser today? I kind of got the vibe, and I think Vic said it to you guys on your radio show. I don't think a major trade's coming. I think they're going to try to figure out with this starting five.
Well,
what would be your guess? How much change should Nuggets fans expect this offseason?
I said it on the show sometime, maybe Monday or I don't know, or whenever. And I think I may have said it on this thing. You may lose KCP, and they may just have to say if KCP turns us down, unless he goes, okay, well, we were paying him 20. How about we give you 3 years of 15 each? You save a little money on the salary cap this year, but he's going to get more money guaranteed, and maybe he likes it here. He's got school-age children here. They're probably in school here. He may like this, and he may want to run this thing out for the rest of his career with one team and with Nikola Jokic.
That'd be cool.
That would be, or maybe you give him 4 years, $12 million a year, but it's all guaranteed. And so, instead of having, but then again, he might have an agent say, listen, drop out of this because he's supposed to make 20, I think, on this player option.
Well, no, it was 12. I think the option is for 12. That's why, because Nate was reading it to me. That's why Nate's like, he could get 20.
Well, I saw a thing today and it had him listed at 20.
Well, was that the number from this year?
Maybe.
Well, regardless.
I mean, if it's 12, all right, say it's 12, then that might be better good for Denver. Better news for Denver. If I opt out of it, we'll give you 3 years at 14.
Yeah, I'm going to try to look it up real quick.
Look up KCP's salary cap.
Here you go. Contract. All right. He signed a 2-year, $30 million contract with the Nuggets that included a $30 million guaranteed and annual average value of $15 million. So, this is according to Spot Track that follows all the contracts. So
say he made 15, or maybe he made 18 and then 12. Maybe that's what it's broke up like. And if that's the case, then he'll opt out of that. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay, so here it is. He's got a player option that pays him $15 million.
Yeah, 15-4.
15-4 is his player option for the 2024-2025 season.
Now, I honestly don't think, and listen, how fast are you throwing that microphone through that 4K TV of yours if someone says, I'm going to pay you $15 million?
Right.
Right. Like right now. But in NBA terms, it's okay. I'm sure they'll have conversations, but maybe you say, "Hey, I'll drop out. I won't take it, and then just give me 3 more years guaranteed on top of this."
Okay, you could.
Some problems down the road, but I mean, you've got $36 million tied into Jamal and $35 million tied into Michael Porter.
Right.
Joker's at 51, and I think it eventually gets to 60 by the end of it.
I don't doubt it.
Because he got a super max.
So you need the NBA, you need the cap to keep going up, but you need to get out of this. The problem is you need to get out of this apron, in my opinion, or whatever it is, so you can actually make some dang moves. Okay. Like, again, I respect that they want to stay with this starting five and all that stuff and try to give it another year, whatever it is they want to do. But you do have to develop younger players, but You know, coaches, when it's game day, Herm Edwards always say it, you play to win the game, and
Well,
everybody can talk nice about it now with no game on the line or whatever.
I'm going to bring this up tomorrow, and I'll ask you here, though. Giving the results that we know now, would you have been okay of playing those young guys and maybe they're ready, maybe they're not, but playing them, at least seeing them. Maybe you win 48 games instead of 57, or 50 games, maybe, who knows? But you don't have 57. You're not tied for first in the West, and you're still going to lose in the playoffs. But you now got 3 or 4 guys pretty experienced coming off your bench. Knowing what we know now, would you wish they would have done that?
Yeah, because as we found out, home court didn't mean anything. Nuggets lost 3 games
It
on their home
doesn't.
court.
How many
So,
how many games did the Avs win on their home ice?
both the Nuggets and the Avs lost 3 games at home this round. 6 total losses at Ball Arena.
Yeah.
Every game on the schedule, except I guess the Nuggets won 1. They were 1-6 combined.
And listen, I don't think the Pacers are any good.
Oh,
no! If you're being honest, the Pacers should have won game 1 in Boston. A little bit better team, a little bit more mature team wins that game in Boston, game 1. Instead, they were all scared.
You're about to crap yourself. McDavid's about to blow the chance of a lifetime.
Now they get in the rush. McDavid to the middle. Oh, he's on the weak side. He's open. No. Oh, he got a stick on it.
Yeah.
How can he not lift that?
Well, he took too long. He was getting Ottinger down. Then when he wanted to go back, was that Tanev that hustled back and got his stick? That was probably Chris Tanev. That's the reason why you can't. This is the other problem for the Avs, man. You wanted Chris Tanev. You didn't have the space to do it. You got to have. This is what I'm talking about, whether it's the Nuggets. See, he should have just shot it low. He was trying to shoot it over him, and he had enough room to shoot it underneath. Now, again, I'm not there freaking out, but that tells you that Ottinger's in their head, too. Everybody's waiting for the goal and can't believe it didn't get scored. Poor Edmonton. But see, this is the thing, Scotty. We can all talk about going forward and fixing a few things and blah, 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 blah. The bottom line is you don't know what you need. Like, we knew at the deadline they needed bench help. We knew at the deadline this thing may not be deep enough. You were saying it on the podcast that we were doing on Spotify week after week. I don't know. The bench makes me nervous. You were never all on board for a repeat. And so if you're going to stay hemmed financially to where you can't make a move at the deadline, I just think that's a flawed philosophy. You don't know who's going to get hurt that you might need to, go replace. You don't know. Again, a rookie, we knew that Strother and Hunter and Pickett were not going to chip in for a playoff run by the time we hit the deadline. And you couldn't do anything about it because of this stupid financial. Like, again, I'm not sure under these new rules you can really afford to have 3 max players anymore.
Well, you said it exactly right. That's why the rules in place and why the league wanted it. They were tired of the Golden State. They were tired of LeBron possibly going to somebody else and teaming up with somebody. They're tired of Durant doing Durant stuff. And they said, we'll let you have 2. You can have 2. Well, too many people got 2 or 3. Listen, there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of talent. I will say this. In the next 2 or 3 years, there's going to be a lot of talent on the street. Because all these teams like Houston, Oklahoma City, name some other young teams that's got players that are playing good. Utah, maybe. But these teams, all these young guys are come stars. They're all going to be stars at the same time. And then guess what? Those 3 rookies that you're playing a lot of minutes in Oklahoma City, you going to pay them all?
Nope. What about Minnesota? Sooner or later, Minnesota's going to. Ant's not looking to take a hometown discount, I bet you.
Nope. And you've already got Rudy close to a max, and you've already got Towns at a max.
Yeah. Well, Ant made his first All-NBA first team, if I'm not mistaken. He's been an all-star. I believe he's in Supermax territory. I saw he gets to make another $41 million now because of that. So
he's in Supermax range.
So
yeah, there's going to be a lot of interesting things that'll happen because of the salary cap. They go back to the Nuggets and their bench. And here's another problem I have, and I don't know 100%, but I've watched a lot of basketball over the years. And I think it's a big problem that you and I have talked about with the Avalanche. It's the exact same thing with the Nuggets. They don't have enough physical players.
Nope.
And the Avs don't have it, and the Nuggets don't either. When your most physical guy is the best player in the league, right? I mean, and then Gordon's too. But who after that?
Nobody.
KCP's not afraid of anything. I'll give you that. He ain't afraid of nothing.
But he ain't wearing out Karl Anthony Towns.
185 pounds.
Yeah, he's not wearing out Karl Anthony Towns. He's not wearing out Rudy Gobert. He's not wearing out Naz Reid. All three of them cats got to just blitz Joker. Both Joker and Aaron Gordon were dead tired.
And don't forget Anderson, who's 6'10" and a half, and he goes 225, 230.
Well, there you go. Well, and don't forget the fact they had to do some of that against the Lakers too. Lakers got bigger. Yep. Lakers, you dealt with two big teams, and you did not have the size to counteract. You had not one big guy coming off the bench. That was a huge problem. A huge problem.
Well, remind me to tell you something when we get off there, because I can't share it yet publicly, but I will someday. I will someday. But let me tell you something when we get done with this, and you're going to go, get the F out of here.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something that I heard that's going to make you upset.
Well, the fans are glad they don't get to hear it then.
Well, guys, I'm telling you, I will. Hello, Ron. I will someday. This will get out, and I'll mention a rumor. But if this rumor comes out to be true,
all right.
I'll just say this: they could have won an NBA championship this year.
Well, yeah, I think you're right.
No, if this rumor's true, Andy, I'm just telling you. They could have won an NBA championship this year.
Okay.
That's all I can tell you.
All right. All right. Well, it's always great when you do a podcast and you can't say the best.
Well,
Bronco.
Hey, for sure. I might be able to tell you in late June.
All right. Well, okay. Yeah, I'm hearing you. All right. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. I might be free before then. Listen, we had the Bronco mini camp going today. You and I didn't go. A lot of mixed reviews as to what's going on. You know what I'd said to everybody out there? Again, folks, and I'm not looking to be negative because I want them to be better. You and I want to watch some good football.
I want Bo Nix to be the rookie of the year.
Sure. I'm happy. If it gets us good football, I'm happy. I want to warn everybody right now and I think a lot of Denver fans know this because they're educated to this quarterback battle stuff. Whatever anybody wants to see out there, they're going to tell you that's what they saw. I was talking to Nate Crackman about it. Nate said, whatever you think they are, you're going to just continue to believe that's what they are. That's what this thing sets up to be. So,
yeah, I was glad Tyler did go out there too, and Darren was out there. But Tyler goes, hey, you can't see nothing. You watch him stretch and warm up. You don't really see nothing.
I'm not going to say it yet because I want to watch it with some guys, and we may not see that till minicamp. Saw one thing I'm going to monitor from Knicks. I'll just put it to you that way. So, but it's okay. Everybody, you know what's funny is everybody talks about Zach Wilson's arm. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So everybody talks about Zach Wilson's arm, which made me laugh because I was watching. So Romy was putting some videos up. Kliss put some videos up. And I just had to laugh because Zach Wilson's arm is exactly what you've been promised. It just explodes out of his hand. But I see one rep where it's like zing right out to the sideline. The next rep, it's zing right into the ground. And I'm like, all right, dude.
When I heard Nate said he scrambled on a 7-on-7.
Yeah, I do. Seriously.
That was White Sands' famous stuff to do, wasn't it?
Yeah, Paxton Lynch loved to scramble on a 7-on-7. It drove me absolutely batty. I think it drove the coaches batty too. So I would warn Zach Wilson. 7-on-7 is not for scrambling.
Well, I'm
That's
going to
not
give
the
Zach
time.
Wilson a little bye. I only because of this. I think he has had his head bashed in for the last 3 years. Some of it can be self-inflicted, but it's tough to implode when you're a high draft pick. It's really tough to implode when you're a high draft pick playing in New York.
Well, and
I,
look,
I
we've
think
seen
I
it.
think I think he is a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
We've seen it here in town, Scotty. When you're the promised Messiah and you don't turn out to be such, you probably want to move out of that town as soon as you can.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a pleasant existence there. So the fans will cheer you until they figure out you ain't it and they've been lied to, or they feel like they've been lied to, or whatever. And that, look, that's why exactly I want to diffuse this media thing right now. Because again, people keep asking me, what do you think? And I am becoming, I've told you, the older I get, the more I think I'm going to wait and see what the kid can do, because predictions don't mean anything. Predictions are like a-hole. Everyone's got one, right? And
Well,
half of them stink.
let's
So
glad this year, me personally, that we're not in the Goodell no preseason games. I actually want to see preseason games this year.
no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I would say this. I've told you before, I would not be surprised if Bo Nix is just a middle of the road starter in the NFL. Now, there are some teams that don't think he's anything more than a backup. But in the Sean Payton offense that's QB friendly and all the stuff that we've heard, it would not really shock me if he is a productive NFL quarterback, as long as he's in with, but to me, productive to the point of, you're 8-9, 9-8, 10-7. You know what I'm saying? But you're not elite. I told you earlier this year, I could see him being very Brian Greasy like, frankly, where Greasy was a good quarterback, but after so many years, people wanted to do better. And I won't be shocked if after 3 years or 2 or 3 years of Bo Nix, people are going, well, should you give this guy an extension? You could probably do better.
Well,
and meanwhile, Brock Bowers is making Pro Bowls for the Raiders, and Turner, the pass rusher, is tearing it up for his team. So,
but if Brian Greasy can come back in the form of Nix for 3 or 4 years, and at least you get some playoff performances, I'll be okay. And a Pro Bowl. I mean, Greasy made a Pro Bowl.
Not if
Raiders.
Not if Bowers is going off for Pro Bowls and he's the next Travis Kelce. That won't sit right with me.
I'm not as high on Bowers as you are, only because when I looked into it, dude's only 6'2".
Okay, but if he catches the ball and changes the spacing in your offense, you ain't got none of that.
Hold on now. If guys are 6'2" in college, how tall are they really?
So, okay, but if you can't cover a guy, how tall is Tyreek Hill? Could he get covered?
Yeah.
Do you have the proper matchup for him?
Bowers ain't a 4'3" guy either.
Well, but if you're going to put a linebacker on his ass, good luck.
Maybe.
We'll find out.
We'll see. They got to find somebody to throw to him too now.
Well, they at least have Gardner Minshew, who's 2-0 against the Broncos last I checked. One with Jacksonville and one with the Colts. So,
well, we could have got him.
I think they wanted to. I don't know that he was as interested. So,
I don't think he's interested. And I don't think they were going to be able to pay him 15. Didn't he get 15 with the Raiders?
Yeah. The Broncos, again, because of what you did with Russ, you weren't in the high money quarterback market. So it's fine. We'll see what this all is. Again, I want people to just have their expectations. Just let's wait and see what we see with our eyes. Okay. Because everybody that writes something, whether it's good or bad, is going to have their own opinion, and this town has become too worried about validating their opinion, I feel. You and I talk about it all the time. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to tell you I'm wrong. I'm not going to go out there and just lie about the kid for the sake of trying to feel like my opinion at the start of the draft was right. I really don't care, because I know this is an inexact science, and nobody knows how anything's going to work out. That's how you get a Terrell Davis, a Shannon Sharp, a Tom Brady. Right. So,
and by the way, and all the people worried about Courtland Sutton, not being in training camp or OTAs. Tell them how many times Shannon Sharp came back for OTAs.
Yeah, but I would say this. I don't know that Sutton wants to be there. I don't disagree with you. I don't think it's devastating he's missing this work. Not at all. My question is, are you real? You guys, I think I've heard you talk about it. We're all on the same page. Do you really want more money, or do you just want to get out of town and you think this will hack him off enough to trade you?
Well, or I think Tyler brought this up today. Or are you going to let them see what they got with them other cats and go, oh, yeah, you're right, Cortland. We could probably use you. How
Okay,
about an
but
extra? How about a $3 million bonus just to come back in?
let's talk about that, though. Let's talk about that. Do you really need him with what we think this year's going to be, regardless?
No.
It's not like he's going to come back and mean 3 extra wins, and all of a sudden you're at 10 wins and going to the playoffs. For me, if I were them, I'd be like, you want out, fine, we'll shop you. See, the problem is that I just read an article today that the receiver position, there's already NFL teams saying how much is too much for wide receiver. I tell you, Scotty, you and I watched the evolution of the running back to now where, thanks to Mike Shanahan, teams don't pay running backs. Well, every year this is supposed to be the greatest class of college receivers you've ever seen because these kids are doing 7-on-7 crap. They know how to run routes better than they ever have. They've got more chance to do this stuff than they ever, so the skill sets are going up, kind of like what AAU basketball's done.
And they're not getting the hell knocked out of them when they cross the middle anymore.
Thank you. And so why do I need to overpay a receiver?
Good point.
So, boy, Henrik Lundqvist there.
I love
dressed dude.
Even when Gretz is in there, because at least when he speaks hockey, you better listen to what he's saying.
What's going on with Gretz's hair tonight?
Lundqvist is really good.
Well, yeah, because he's like the coach or the quarterback. He's had to watch the whole game. He's had to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has to react to everything on the ice, so to speak, not just a guy in front of him. What's with Gretzky's hair? Seriously, it's like it's starting to fade as the night goes on, but he had it all teased up there for a minute. Gretzky can't even talk.
Yeah, because Gretzky's trying not to look 65.
Okay. Is that how old he is?
Well, he's got to be, doesn't he?
That dude's terrible hair.
Look at see how old Wayne is.
Stupid. Gretzky looks good. Better than any of these dudes with fake color hair.
Here at Wayne Gretzky age.
Hey, and Wayne just said, listen, the greatest scorer in hockey yesterday. Yeah, I couldn't raise him from that angle.
Well, that's why he should have right 63. Good call, Scotty. 63. I thought he was maybe older. So, all right. Well, I think we've covered about everything we need to here. And this game apparently wants to go about 900 overtime. So,
it's better than the NBA game tonight. That's true. That was terrible.
Yeah. So, and now Halliburton may have a bad hamstring, which would pretty much effectively end that series.
Pacers in the finals of the Eastern Conference is a joke.
Well, but it also shows you what the NBA is getting what it's wanted. Here's the other thing. You know what? Real quick before we do sign off, let me ask you this. I did mean to ask you this, and I thought about this watching how beat up the Knicks were. And frankly, the Nuggets weren't necessarily beat up, but they were tired. Is this in-season tournament stuff really going to be a good idea? Because you've been telling me this forces the schedule to change a bit. Now you got a bunch of tired. It's starting to look like the NFL playoffs. The team's just trying to keep their guys healthy as they can get to the finals. I don't remember it being this way so bad.
The Nuggets had to play 12. I think it was 12 or 13 back-to-backs before the All-Star break.
It's a lot of wear and tear on the body. And I feel like these playoffs may be showing you, no matter how physical you think a sport is, they're still getting up and down. They're still leaning on each other. There's still body contact in the lane.
Well, unless you're willing to extend the season an extra 2 weeks, which why not if you're going to make all the money you think you're going to make on the in-season tournament? Why are you trying to condense it into the same amount of time and then have these guys play these extra games and you're squeezing? I don't even, it's been so long ago now. Do you remember how many games and how quick they came? I mean, we played it 3 and 4 nights, which, they tried to do away with. We had 3 and 5 nights 4 or 5 times. That kills guys. And all this BS and all the leagues say, same thing with football. Oh, we're going to play Thursdays. Oh, we're going to play 18 games. That's fine. Make your money and just say, hey, we can make another 2-3 billion. All right, do that. Because you don't give a crap about players. You don't even really give a crap about the quality of play because that affects the quality of play. a team playing on a Sunday and turn around playing on a Thursday, they ain't any good.
Well,
Stupid.
to me, it affects the fans because I'm going to see a good game, and instead I'm seeing guys dog ass tired that I paid full price for. But
yeah, I'm paying my $500 to bring my family, and guess what? My team was worn out.
well, but Scotty, does it even matter? Because the new mechanism is the betting, and people just want this stuff to bet on. I've asked all the time. I asked Mark Springer, my dude that loves to bet more than anybody I know. When I say who cares about bowl games anymore, he's like, "Well, I'll bet on them." Well, then that's all they need. So,
yeah,
that's all they need. I would rather see a quality game. I'm not betting on anything.
His dereliction is causing a lot of the problems.
Well, he's not alone, my friend.
That's what I'm saying. Millions of them.
Yeah, people just want something to bet on. It's why half the stuff's on that's on. So,
yep.
All right, you go and kiss your lovely wife and wave to the camera.
Warren, say hi, Warren.
This really is. We're going to have to start calling this the All Intrusive Podcast. All right.
All right.
Say goodbye, Betty.